Using a mobile device in an early childhood or elementary setting makes a lot of sense. It's lightweight, small, easy to travel with, and kids love them. But how do you actually use it in the classroom? And how do you make sure children are limited in their access? In this virtual training, we are going to talk about screen time, young children who are finding success using their devices, ways for teachers to use technology in the classroom, and give you some suggestions for limiting screen time. Thanks for joining us. There is much discussion among parents and caregivers about limiting screen time for children of all ages. Organizations such as the American Academy of Pediatrics created guidelines in 2001 around screen time that recommended a daily limit of no more than 2 hours of screen time for children older than 2 years old. However, these guidelines focus mostly on computers and TV time, not mobile devices. They also more than likely did not take into consideration a child using a mobile device as a learning support or as their assistive technology to help them function. Having said that, we at BridgingApps believe that it is possible to have healthy levels of screen time when all members of the family are involved with the technology and the experience is interactive, especially for young children. Creating stories and picture slideshows together, making a family video, playing a game like Words with Friends, or planning a trip can be done at all cognitive levels using technology with a combination of guided help from an adult or older sibling, and independent work like practicing a skill in an educational game. For more on this topic, we recommend reading the thought-provoking article on this topic by Hannah Rosen of The Atlantic called The Touchscreen Generation, and discuss it as a family.
We want to share a success story about Liam. In April of 2011, Liam's mom decided when he was 15 months old that she would buy him an iPad. At first, she underestimated him and she thought he wouldn't understand all the buttons and the apps. But he proved her wrong really quickly as he learned to tap and swipe to get the iPad to do what he wanted it to do. He was able to discover the home button and switch between apps. She noticed that he was able to control his fine motor skills and actually improve within a short amount of time. He was able to play different spelling games, and one that was actually helping him to identify letters just at 15 months old. Liam is now 5 years old, and his mother said that he uses the iPad regularly. He's shown so much progress, specifically with his ability to trace letters much more precisely. His attention span, both in trying to figure out a game and how long he sticks with an activity, and his pronunciation has also improved. Some of his favorite apps are Ago, Phonics, SoundPad, and the Sight Word Adventure. Liam has come so far, and as a parent, Liam's mother commented on how surprised she was seeing that at only 2 years old, he could open apps, he could swipe the screen, and at a young age, he could touch and swipe through images to learn vocabulary using an app like Sound Touch. Liam's mom mentions that it's such a great tool to help them express themselves via being able to touch what they want when they can't express themselves verbally.
Here are some ideas and apps for using a mobile device in the classroom. Introduce technology and work on skills at center time, using the apps Futaba, Math Bingo, Handwriting Without Tears Suite, and I Write Words. Handy dandy timers, iPrompts, Time Timer, Autism Timer, and Activity Timer. For calming little spirits, use Swirlicity, Cause and Effect Sensory Lightbox, Sing and Hum, or Relax Melodies HD. Reward charts and tracking behavior. Use iReward, Behavior Tracker Pro, Class Dojo, or Token Board. And for some entertainment apps during waiting times, use The Monster at the End of This Book, Kids Songs, Peekaboo Sesame Street, or The Wheels on the Bus.
This is Amy Berry with BridgingApps, and in this segment, I am going to share 7 suggestions for limiting screen time. As an education technologist and busy mother of 5 very tech-savvy children, I have found that the benefits of using mobile technology in education are great. However, it is very important for parents, caregivers, and teachers to monitor and limit mobile device time. Here are some suggestions and ideas for limiting screen time with children. Number 1, limit access. Keep computers and mobile devices in a central location where caregivers can monitor their use. One suggestion is to ban devices from the dining room table. Our family keeps a basket on the counter for everyone to place their device during meal times and other family gatherings. It's also a good idea for parents to keep mobile devices in their room at night, so kids will not be tempted to play them instead of sleep. Number 2, create time limits. Schedule daily mobile device time. And you might even consider having tech-free days. During the school year, our kids are lucky if they get 2 hours of screen time on school nights, 1 hour of education, and 1 hour of free play. We also monitor their grades very closely, and if they start to slip, they lose their hour of free play. We are much more lenient on weekends, during summer, and long road trips. Another suggestion is to use apps like Dinner Time Plus. Dinner Time Plus is a user-friendly app parents can download to remind their children about taking time out from their mobile devices to study, get sleep, and of course, enjoy mealtime as a family. Features of the app include dinner time, bedtime, and take a break control options. Another app for Android devices called Screen Time Parental Control is an app that gives you control over how your kids spend time on their tablets and phones. Number 3, set parental controls on devices. I'm going to show you how to set the restrictions on your iPhone, iPad, and or iPod Touch device. Restrictions allow you to set device-wide restrictions that will always be enforced. For example, you can prevent your children from ever using certain apps, prevent them from installing new apps, disable in-app purchases, only allow them to install apps with appropriate ratings, prevent access to certain websites, and lock down other settings. Settings you select here cannot be changed without the PIN number you provide. To set up restrictions, open the Settings app and navigate to General, Restrictions, Enable Restrictions, put in a 4-digit PIN, From here, you can scroll down through the list and customize the types of apps, content, and settings you want your children to have access to. For example, to enforce content ratings, scroll down to the Allowed Content section, tap the Apps section, and you can choose which type of apps your children can install. For example, you can prevent them from installing apps with the 12 plus rating, depending on their age or maturity level. Tap the Websites option and you'll be able to block the Safari browser from loading certain types of websites. You can limit access to certain types of adult content, or you can choose to only allow access to specific websites. You can customize which exact websites are and are not allowed also. If you want to block access to the web entirely, you can disable access to the Safari browser and disable the Installing Apps feature, which will prevent your children from using the installed Safari browser or installing any other browsers. Other settings allow you to lock certain privacy and system settings, preventing them from being changed. For example, you can prevent your kids from changing the mail and calendar accounts on the device. Near the bottom, you'll also find the Game Center, where you can prevent your children from playing multiplayer games or adding friends in Apple's Game Center app. The settings you choose will always be enforced until you enter the restrictions screen in the settings. Tap the Disable Restrictions option and provide the PIN you created again. Number 4, use screen time as a reward for completing homework, chores, etc. Generally, kids do not like homework and chores. Parents can help them complete tasks they dislike and reach certain goals regardless of how they feel about them by offering screen time as a reward for accomplishing goals. We know how much kids love and value their screen time. Some parents change their internet password daily and give a time frame for responsibilities to be done before their child can have access to the password. This works well for families with older children and more than one child. Another suggestion is to use a timer and pennies or marbles or whatever small device or small item you may have to fill a jar. Children earn pennies for doing chores, making good choices, or whatever you feel warrants a penny. Each penny represents a specified amount of screen time. For example, 1 penny may be worth 15 minutes of screen time. Then, your child can cash in up to a certain amount of pennies per day. Of course, less on school days and more on weekends. Number 5, make screen time interactive with multiplayer apps. Old school board games will always be fun activities for families and friends. But as an alternative, there are some great multiplayer apps for mobile devices, like Toka-Town, Uno, The Game of Life, Scrabble, Trivia Crack, and Words with Friends. Number 6, ensure kids are spending lots of time being active, playing outside, and that they have plenty of tech-free options. Number 7, the last suggestion is to be a tech-free model. Set an example by limiting your own screen time. A book I enjoyed reading about putting down the phone, burning the to-do list, and letting go of perfection to grasp what really matters is called Hands-Free Mama by blogger Rachel Stafford. And I am really looking forward to reading Hands-Free Life, 9 Habits for Overcoming Distraction, Living Better, and Loving More by the same author when it's released on September 15th. I hope all 7 suggestions are helpful for limiting screen time with your children.
We'd like to thank you for joining us, and if you have some information that you'd like to share with us, especially on using iPads or mobile devices with students or children in elementary or early education, we'd love to hear from you. We are a community of learners, and our virtual trainings and local meetings are here to help with that. You can contact us by email, Google+, Facebook, Instagram, or our phone number. We hope to see you back for our September virtual training when we'll be talking about seniors. Here at Bridging Apps, we have a great seniors project where we are creating different videos and different resources for seniors or people that are just starting out using mobile devices, maybe in their adult years. We've been sharing these resources on a local level, but we're wanting to reach out and share it globally. And so we hope that you'll join us and you'll learn from us some of these quick little how-to tips in getting started using mobile devices for seniors.